quorum, Madam Chair, is this quorum?
Yes.
Just acknowledge quorum. Commissioner Burrell.
Here.
Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Commissioner Denning.
Here.
Commissioner Vanilla.
Present.
Commissioner Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Commissioner Sanford.
Here.
Chairman Weaver.
Here. Okay, I'm going to read the announcement concerning notice of the Open Public Meetings Act. I would like to advise those present that notice of this this special meeting of the Housing Authority of the City of Hoboken has been provided to the public in accordance with provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act. Notice of the special meeting of Wednesday, May 28, 2014 was published in the Jersey Journal and the Hoboken Reporter on Saturday, May 24th, as notification to the general public of said meeting, and sent to the City Clerk of Hoboken on Friday, May 23rd, with a copy of the agenda to be posted on the Hoboken Bulletin Board. I direct the minutes of this meeting to state that I have announced that adequate notice of this meeting has been given as required by the Open Public Meetings Act.
Madam Chair, I have an objection.
Not now.
I have to acknowledge that I need the affidavits that the meeting was properly noticed in the reporter as well as in the Jersey Journal. As you know, when you state your
I'm not
remarks,
recognizing you at this time. I have copies in the newspaper.
I am objecting. Madam Chair, as the board secretary, I have a right to object. When you read that statement, I have a right to
Director, you
object.
don't have a right to the floor at all if I haven't recognized you.
Okay,
Please stop
so,
speaking. You are out of order.
Madam Chair, you advised me the email that you would provide me. Madam Chair, you advised me the email that you provide me to read
Director,
the
I'm
both
warning you, you
notices.
are out of order.
So let me know off the record, my protest.
Director, this is
And for the record, if I may, Madam Chair, for the record, there are hard copies of the newspapers in which notice appeared, present here.
And Mr. Vice Chair, the custodian of records, I need a proof of that. I have not received that, as this public notice was not authorized by myself, and as far as it was fortunately submitted, and it was not authorized. So I just want to make sure we didn't pay for it, there's no purchase order. So if you have proof, just provide me the proof. That's all I need for my records.
Yes, there's a Xerox machine over there that I learned how to use. Make copies of it for the newspaper.
this way there's now.
The newspaper.
Vice Chair, because it's a
I can
violation.
show you something.
Wait a minute.
No problem.
Hold it, everybody.
Hold on.
Now, you're not on the floor. I'm going to have to remove you. Don't sit down.
So, this is a court report.
All right. Madam Chair, if I could, I do want everybody in the public and my fellow sheriff people to understand that we have a substitute court reporter here present who might not be as used to the frenetic pace with which we sometimes all speak. So I would just ask us to be considerate of him being maybe new to this atmosphere when it comes to ensuring that we don't speak over each other. Thank you, Madam.
Do you need to act, Mr. Chair, that open public meeting act, let's finish reading it, please.
I just read him.
No, you didn't read the
Ms.
bottom.
Leaders, you don't have
That's
the
why I
floor.
thought you-
Please sit down. I'm warning you once. I will have
I
you
don't have the exact
objected.
text in front of me.
If
so
we
I'm
do
trying to
not,
read it.
officers, we need to have the order.
You don't have to.
Swear, you can please take your seat. Thank you. Thank you.
Before we continue, at the last Housing Authority meeting, I was able to speak to the people that were there about how I expect the board meetings to proceed. There are a lot of people here who were not at that meeting, so for your benefit, I'm going to tell you. I am really happy that there are people here that want to express their interest in what's going on, and I know that you're all here because you have strong feelings about the Housing Authority. I am very glad that you're here, and I want you to express yourself, and the time to do that is during the public portion. This part of the meeting is when the board conducts its business, and we must conduct our business uninterrupted and without distractions. If you disrupt the meeting by speaking when you have not been recognized by the chair, I will warn you once, and then I will warn you one more time. If you continue speaking, I will have you removed. And I want to be clear that this applies to everyone in the public, and it also applies to HHA employees and our attorneys. If you do not have the floor, if you have not been recognized by the chair, you cannot speak. So what I'd like to do is, there's one item on our I want to be clear that there are no homes at stake. This resolution has nothing to do with anybody's tenancy. This resolution is to appoint special counsel so that we can take a look at our procurement practices and make sure that we're following all the applicable laws. Would anyone like to speak on this resolution? Would any board members like to speak on this resolution?
I don't want to speak on the resolution, Madam Chair. But, two things, the emergency meeting that we should be having tonight is about the generator, but we won't have that.
I'm sorry?
The generator issue that we're trying to get our generator set up, I thought this would be the one that would take precedence over this.
If I could, Madam Chair, I can have a conversation with you about that and some different things that have occurred since our last meeting when it comes to generators. That we'll be moving forward. It's my intent to sponsor a resolution for the next city council meeting. That will take that under consideration. I will be talking to members of the administration. Again, speaking with them today. We'll be speaking to them tomorrow. I do not want to go into any more detail on that issue though, because this is a special meeting, and that is not an issue that was noticed for this meeting, so I do not think it would be proper, and I think we could potentially be in violation of the Open Public Meetings Act to get into a discussion of that issue tonight.
Two is, I'm sorry, the proceeding arrangement was strange. You know, we have our lawyer over here, and it seems like we're lining up as opposition already. I don't agree with that. I think we should mix things together. This doesn't look good, doesn't set well with the next time. This looks like the game is set, and I don't want to be part of that.
Commissioner Davis, I'm sorry, actually, everyone just sat down where they wanted.
I'd be happy to sit next to you at the next meeting.
Please.
Madam Chairman, good.
Madam Chair,
I've probably sat in each of those two seats over the last 5 years in council, so.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Davis, you said everyone sat down.
I'm sorry?
You said everyone sat down. I was forced to sit in here on this one.
Yes, you're not a
You
board
ordered me to
member.
sit. Okay.
Okay, so does anyone else have anything to say on this resolution? Right, I'm just gonna,
Hold the microphone closer.
the special counsel that we are proposing to hire for this resolution is very experienced in procurement matters. He is general counsel to the Morristown Housing Authority, the New Brunswick Housing Authority, Linden, Harrison, Madison, Gothenburg. He's special counsel to Franklin Township. He's also been special counsel to Jersey City. He's very well versed in federal procurement matters, and so that is why we think that he's a good person to look at any possible procurement issues that are occurring in the Hoboken Housing Authority. No, we didn't. This is being done under two sections of the law. The first one is NJSA, one second, there's the page. NJSA 19:44A-20.4, and that allows a professional to be awarded a contract based on the merits without going out to bid, as long as they file the relevant certification, which I emailed to you on Friday, and which I also have a copy of tonight. What that means is that this attorney and his law firm have not contributed to any local races. He hasn't contributed to the gubernatorial races. We also have a gubernatorial appointment on the board. Absolutely.
If I may address the secretary, what's your opinion of sitting over there?
Commissioner Davis, are you asking me to address the resolution as far as my objection on the resolution being presented tonight?
Yeah, I mean, all the email that came in this meeting is legal, is it not legal? It's like I said, I always come here to do my duty for the people, but it's just, I don't want to do anything.
I can address that for you. Under the Open Public Meetings Act, we are required to notice public meetings 48 hours in advance. This notice went out in the public papers. It was published in the Jersey Journal and the Hoboken Reporter on Saturday, which is well in advance of the 48 hours required to the Public Meetings Act. So, yes, this meeting has been legally noticed.
Madam Chair, may I address the other question?
I don't think
With the objection about this being proper?
I'm sorry?
May I address this question about the objection that was presented in the email about this being proper under where you guys would be violating our procurement laws?
I don't think it's appropriate for you to opine on that. You're not an attorney.
But the public, we do have a legal opinion from special counsel that I shared with everybody, that I think it should be noted on the record as to what is happening here this evening. If you're gonna share with the public everything, I think that would be important to share, because, again, I was advised to share with you and the public record the objections presented in the email relative to the fact that we would be violating HUD procurement laws, you'd be breaching my employment contract, and I think it would be noted,
Director, we
duly
can't discuss your
noted
employment
that
contract. We can't discuss your employment
Again,
contract.
but it should be, I want to, again, Madam Chair, Commissioner David brought something to the floor relative to the email communication that I sent you guys on special counsel opinion dated May 23rd, advising you that it would be improper to do what we're doing this evening, and general counsel also advised that what we're doing this evening would be improper, and chief
Director, thank you
counsel,
for your thoughts.
and chief counsel at HUD has noted that it would be improper what you're doing. So, do I get a chance to put on the record, what I've noted in email communication? You will, but do I get to put, I want to put on the record, I'm requesting that when you choose to recognize me, so I can speak on this, that we talk about what we're doing right now. We don't have the funds, but it's a rule, let me be clear.
Director, I'm not discussing opinion, but you're a guest of the board right now, and I understand.
I'm not a guest of the board, I am the secretary. I'm the secretary. I'm not a guest, Madam Chair. I'm not a guest. I'm gonna ask them to answer. Yeah, well, this is not, it is my fiduciary responsibility to share with the board that what you are doing is improper.
Madam Chairwoman, I would ask that we exercise extreme caution before we let the executive director speak about especially issues where he has mentioned his employment contract. He has not been rights noticed, and in my mind, it would be improper for us to have any discussion about an employment contract of any employee of the Hoboken Housing Authority without them being rights noticed. I also think it is important in the confines of this meeting that any legal opinions that be given by our counsel at this meeting, our attorney, not by the executive director in his role as the secretary of this meeting.
Great, Vice Chair, I would prefer that because I'm not
I'm
talking
the
about my
chairwoman
employment
whether
contract.
she wants to ask you
Okay.
your opinion on this,
Director,
Mr.
you
Gagnon.
don't have the floor.
Excuse me, Madam
You
Chair?
don't have the floor.
I didn't even hear you recognize Vice Chair, so I was still on the issue that I don't want to talk about my employment contract. I'm not want to talk about I want to present the objections noted relative to the violations. That's all.
You can present them in another meeting. This is
Another
not,
meeting?
the
This is-
board discussion is not the appropriate time. And I'm not going to argue with you about this. If you continue speaking,
Okay.
I'll report, I'm going to have you removed. You're
Exposing something that I'm sharing, but I've been advised by counsel, legal counsel, to tell you that this is improper and it's a violation of the HUD procurement laws.
Thank you for your thoughts. Please, hold. Do any commissioners have any more to speak? Yes, Commissioner. If we have, do you mean if a special counsel finds procurement issues? I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I've read things that could happen, so let's hope for the best. But certainly, if there are procurement issues that are found and we can proactively address them, that's something that would be very good for the housing authority to mitigate any possible consequences.
Madam Chairwoman, if I could.
Yes.
It is my opinion that if there is some sort of legal issue that our attorney, our board attorney feels needs to be put on the record, the onus is not our board's attorney to ask for the floor, and to ask to put that into the record.
I was told by the chairman, not the chairperson, not to say.
Would you like to share?
There are serious implications of what you're about to do, and those implications go beyond the procurement. If you vote for this, you would put yourself personally in jeopardy by voting on.
Speak of the microphone.
There are serious issues. The federal procurement law states there are 4 methods of obtaining a quote. The issue here is you want to move on an extended, on an emergency basis, so you have a non-competitive proposal. Now recall, for a competitive proposal, all you have to do is take maybe a month and go out for proposals, receive those proposals, and then make the decision as required by federal law. The federal statute, 24 CFR 8536, states the only way you can do non-competitive proposals that would be relevant here is that there's a public exigency or emergency for the requirement that will not permit a delay resulting from the competitive solicitation. Black's Law Dictionary says exigency is a state of urgency, a situation requiring immediate action. From what I understand from the resolution, you are hiring an attorney to review invoices and procurement that occurred over the past 6 months. Why would now be such an emergency? Because those bills are already pending. They haven't been paid. And even if they were paid, if they were found not to be paid improperly based upon the vendor's action, you would have a cause of action to retrieve federal money. If it's based upon other reasons, you would have certain, you would have the ability to remedy that situation. But in this case, there is no emergency or exigency circumstances that, in my legal opinion, would allow you to circumvent CFR 8536 4D. In addition, under state law, and this is even more important, under state law, you cannot, under your fiduciary duty, vote for an appropriation until there is money in the budget appropriated for them. Under New Jersey Administrative Code 5:35.3, the chief financial officer of the local unit shall be responsible for determining the availability of sufficient funds for all contracts and amendments thereto. The delegation of this duty by the chief financial officer does not relieve him or her of her responsibility. I have not seen anything that says that there is the monies appropriated to pay a $30,000 contract to special counsel. Again, there would be no reason why you could not, at your next meeting or any meeting, go over the budget and see if there is monies that can be moved. But to do it on an emergency basis, I would present to you, I think, is in violation of both the federal statutes and the state statutes.
Commissioner Morrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
No.
Commissioner Denning?
Yes.
Commissioner Mello?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
No.
Commissioner Sanford?
Yes.
Chairwoman Weaver?
Yes. The resolution carries 5-2. We're now ready for public